Hey everybody, this is Dr. Murph and I'm the professor for Music 101 online for this summer semester. I'm just going to give you a quick tour around the Blackboard shell and kind of let you know a few important things that you'll need to get the hang of for the online class. The first place you're going to want to head is to the syllabus and overview and make sure that you read through the syllabus. Now the syllabus is not uploaded, rather it's linked to a cloud account that you should have access to. It's to MXC account, but you might be asked to log in with your banner ID and password, the same thing you log in to with the same thing you use to log into Blackboard or your email. That's all the same. Technically, since you're already signed into Blackboard, you shouldn't have to sign in again, but just in case you have some troubles, just use that those exact same credentials. Alright, so when we take a look at the syllabus, there's just a couple of important things. The textbook we're using for this course is here. You can either have the hard copy of the book or like the e version of the book. Either of those are fine. And then also you want to make sure you have access to an actual computer or a laptop, not just a tablet or a phone, because some of the materials are not going to work so well with a tablet or a phone. You want to make sure you actually have a computer. So just kind of keep that in mind in terms of if you need to go somewhere to access a computer, or if you need to have access to one at home. So the way the course works is pretty simple in terms of grading. There's basically 3 kinds of assignments you're going to have to work on over the course of the next 5 weeks. There's going to be some discussion boards, which I'll talk about in just a second, some weekly quizzes, and some Blackboard assignments. The weekly quizzes are more kind of like multiple choice, kind of short answer quizzes, and the Blackboard assignments are a little more in depth, kind of some short answer essay writing. So with the discussion boards, what will happen is I guess twice a week there'll be a discussion board open up, and there'll be 2 prompts. There will be questions related to material that you've checked out in the online PowerPoints. A lot of times it's related to listening examples or something specifically from the PowerPoint. So what you have to do is there'll be 2 prompts, and you have to answer each of those prompts with a post that's at least 150 words for each of those. And there's a little counter on Blackboard that tell you how many words you've typed, so just make sure you checked it, you got the word count, so that you can get all of your points. And of course make sure that what you're writing is relevant to the post. So after you do your 2 initial posts, your 2 initial answers to the prompts, then you need to do one other post that's a response to somebody else's post. And that can be on either the first prompt or the second prompt, it doesn't matter. And then that also needs to have a 150 word count minimum. After that, you're free to respond to as many posts as you want to. I encourage that, so we have kind of more interaction in the class. However, your subsequent posts after those first 3, I don't care about the word count, so they could be shorter posts as long as you have 3 of them that meet that requirement. I'm going to post some weekly readings and some quizzes. We'll take a look at the quizzes actually on Blackboard here in a second, and then we'll take a look at the Blackboard assignments on Blackboard in a second, instead of me just kind of talking about them here. Keep in mind that this course is accelerated. This is a 5-week course. A normal course is 15 weeks. So that means this course is actually about 3 times as fast as normal. So kind of keep that in mind when you're planning your week out in terms of getting material done. I would say you need to work on material a little bit every day, rather than trying to wait until days that assignments are due. Otherwise you're going to get really overwhelmed and really frustrated. So this course flies by really fast, so make sure you're putting aside time every day that you can devote to the class. Now after you check out the syllabus and you've read through that, make sure you go into this link here, important due dates. There's a course schedule for the whole semester, and we should stay pretty much well on this, pretty well to this course schedule. I don't think we're going to change very much. In the MAP classes, the 5-week classes, all assignments have to be done on Sundays and Wednesdays. So those are when the due dates have to be. They can't be on different days of the week. So that's why you kind of see several assignments stacked up on one day. Now, what you should be doing is working on these assignments over the course of several days. So usually I'll have them, usually new assignments will pop up on Friday. So like like these assignments will pop up on this Friday. So you should have plenty of time to, to work on them. Work on these a little bit over the course of, 2 or 3 or 4 days, and then they'll be really manageable. If you try to do all of the assignments in the day that they're due, you might get a little overwhelmed with it. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're kind of planning your schedule out. Let's see. So each Monday and Wednesday you'll see you have a quiz due, and then also discussion board due, and then every Wednesday there's going to be a Blackboard assignment that's a little more involved. Now usually the Blackboard assignment, like this Blackboard assignment 1, will involve some questions from this material and some questions from this material. So what you could do is you could actually go in, and as you're working on this material, you could go ahead and start working on that part of your Blackboard assignment. The quizzes and the Blackboard assignment do not have to be completed in one sitting, so you can work on them over the course of a couple of days. Just make sure that you're saving your work as you go. Alright, so I think that's it. Like, it stays pretty consistent. Each Sunday you'll have a quiz and a discussion board. Each Wednesday you'll have a quiz, discussion board, and then one of these longer assignments. So what you want to do is each week you want to click on course content. And for example, right now you should only see week 1. These are not available, but you click on week 1. And you'll always see kind of the objectives for the week, like what we'll be covering in the class. And then you'll see these directions, which are basically everything you need to do for the week. A week runs from Sunday to Sunday. So this first one looks kind of long, but the main reason is because there's 3 things up here to like read through the syllabus, print out the course schedule, which we already talked about, and then watch this video, which you're watching right now. So after you get into that, after you finish that, you want to get into actual material for the first week. I have some assigned reading from the textbook, either the hard copy or the e-text right here. That's kind of the assigned reading that goes with this first unit, and then there's also a PowerPoint that goes along with it as well. The PowerPoint has an audio lecture where you hear me speaking over the different slides. And then there's also links in the PowerPoints to take you to listening examples. All the listening examples are on YouTube, so they should be really easy to load up on your computer. Now, the quiz 1 refers to the material from the PowerPoint and the assigned reading. Now, it's not like you have to do all the assigned reading and then all of the PowerPoint listening and then try to sit down and do the quiz in one step. What I kind of think of you as doing all of these kind of tandemly, so all at the same time. So you're kind of working on the quiz as you're doing the readings and as you're going through the PowerPoints. That's a much more efficient way to do it. I would also check out the discussion prompts before you start doing the readings and the PowerPoints, just so you kind of know what you're looking for, and you can go ahead and start thinking about what your response is going to be to those prompts. You could also go ahead and kind of look at the Blackboard assignment, just kind of peek in there and see which questions that I'm asking, and then as you're going through the reading and the PowerPoints, you can make some notes and then use that for answering your questions instead of having to go back and try to remember everything later on in the week. Alright, so I mentioned here there's some assigned reading. There's 2 different sections here, and then so there's like this assigned reading number 2 that goes along with this group of problems over here, or sorry, this assignment over here. So usually each week you'll see 2 different reading assignments. This one goes with the this PowerPoint and this quiz, so I try to put them in order so they're easy to figure out. And then this reading assignment goes with these 2 PowerPoints and this quiz. And then the Blackboard assignment kind of refers to everything from that week. Now you can also go and open up the PowerPoint audio lecture. Again, you might have to log in with your credentials, but hopefully not, since you're already in Blackboard. And this will open up in PowerPoint online, so you can view this in your browser. You should have access to this, no problem, as an MXCC student. The other thing you can do is if you don't have like a super good connection, or you find that like it's a little laggy or something like that, you can just click on File and then go to Download As, and you can just download the PowerPoint directly to your computer, and that way you don't have to worry about things like internet issues and connectivity issues. You can also download just a PDF of the slides if you want to have that for reference, which I would recommend doing. It's pretty fast and easy, and then you won't have the audio lecture, but you will have all of the slides, and you'll have access to the links for the different listening examples. So I would recommend maybe doing that and just having these as a maybe as a record. So when you're going back and referencing things for the discussions or the PowerPoints, you kind of have this ready to go. Now to listen to the audio lecture, and actually to click on these links, you need to put this in slideshow mode, which is this button down here. If you click on this, the first time you click on it, when it's a new PowerPoint, it's going to take a few seconds to kind of catch up. It might take like 30 seconds or so before the audio will start to play, so just be really patient with it. Again, if you just download it as a regular PowerPoint, you won't have to worry about that because it'll all be instant. Just keep in mind, if you download it as a regular PowerPoint, it's kind of a big file, so it might take a couple of minutes to download. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put this into presentation mode. I'm going to give this just a second. It's probably going to take about 10 or 20 seconds to kind of load up. I'm going to pause real quick just so you guys don't have to sit here and wait for that, and I'll be back in just a second. Alright, so after this gets kind of loaded up the first time, all of your slides should go pretty quickly. Like I said, it might just take a minute to for the computer to catch up. But like, this is the slide that I just opened up, and you'll notice there's like a little play button down here. This is actually kind of an extra artifact that I'm not sure why it's there. But this is the main play button down here, and when you click on it, you'll kind of hear me just kind of talking about what's going on in the slide.
Courses to improve your musical literacy and improve your ability to talk intelligently about music. For a lot of these lessons, I'm going to have some small listening activities. Now, the idea of these listening activities is...
Okay, so in this slide, I'm just kind of talking about how we're going to be trying to learn how to describe music in a more advanced way. That's one of the goals for the class. You can kind of listen to me talk through that slide, and then I ask you to watch these two videos, and I think there's actually a discussion board post that you have to do based on these videos. So then you can click on the link. And again, all of the videos are YouTube videos, so they should load up pretty quick. Now, one thing that kind of stinks is whenever you click out and then come back in, you have to redo the slide, but it should have already loaded, so you don't have to wait again. Everything's kind of already loaded, and you can navigate through the slides.
Good. So hopefully you were able to go through and get some... So here's a picture of John Cage, and here's a great quote by John Cage concerning sound in music. He says, "When I hear what we call music..."
Okay, so you kind of get the idea. You can listen to me talk through these and kind of explain what's going on.
We're talking about John Cage and his ideas of sound. I thought I would put up a very interesting video.
Okay, so my idea is that hopefully by having some audio lecture, this is a little more interesting instead of just kind of reading and looking through PowerPoint slides, which can get a little dull. And you'll be able to kind of access all of these videos. Should be pretty easy. Might have to deal with some ads. Okay, so this is the very first one. So it looks kind of long. This one is a little longer than normal, but a lot of it's got some extra slides. So you know, just take your time. Maybe look at like a few of these every day instead of trying to do them all at one time. This one is longer than most of the other ones are. The very first one is a little bit longer just because of what it covers. So just kind of keep that in mind. Don't get too freaked out on the very first day. The other thing I wanted to mention is that some of these videos, for example, this one, some of the listening examples are very long. You know, like this one is like 16 minutes. Some of the symphonies, if you load them up, it'll be like an hour long. I don't expect you to necessarily listen to the entire thing when they're these really long ones, if it's more than a couple of minutes. So you don't have to listen to all 16 minutes of this. The idea is I just want you to listen to some of it and kind of get the idea of what the slide is talking about, if that makes sense. So in this slide, we're kind of talking about all of the instruments working together, the instruments from the previous part of the presentation. So you know, just watch maybe a minute or two of it and just kind of get an idea of what's going on. I'm not expecting you to sit down and watch like hours and hours of videos every day because we just don't have that kind of time. So just keep that in mind. If you have any questions about how much of something you should be watching, you can just let me know. Sometimes I'll give you specific like minutes that I want you to watch as you go through. Okay. So as you're going through the reading and the PowerPoint, then you want to also be working on the quizzes. This test can be saved and resumed later. So the idea of the quiz is, they're pretty straightforward, like kind of multiple choice quizzes. You just want to make sure that, like, as you choose your answer, you just want to click Save Answer to make sure that it's saved in there. And then you can exit out and come back like tomorrow and do some more of them. Just make sure that at the very end, after you've done all of the answers and you're ready to be done, you click the Save and Submit button. That will actually finish it and send it to me. So don't click the Save and Submit until you're absolutely done with the quiz and you're ready to submit it to be graded. Otherwise, you'll have missed a few questions. So the other thing, so that's the quizzes. I think those are pretty straightforward. And then the other thing I mentioned was the Blackboard assignment. There'll be one of these every week. These are essay questions. Again, you can work on these over the course of several days. So these are a little more involved. So in your own words, describe the difference between melody and harmony in music. In your opinion, why is the addition of harmony to a melodic line so significant to the overall effect of a piece of music? Write 1 to 2 paragraphs. So I expect these answers to be very good in terms of very well thought out and well written. You don't have to be like an expert writer, but try to have good grammar and good spelling and all that kind of stuff, and really put a little bit of thought into your answers. And also make sure you're not plagiarizing from the internet or from the book. It's very easy for me to tell when a student is writing an answer versus when they're pulling something that like a musicologist has written. So you can use the internet for resources, other websites and things like that. You can certainly use the book and the PowerPoint for resources. Just make sure you're putting everything in your own words. Simple as that. If I find that you're plagiarizing, I'm just gonna not give you the points on the assignments, and I don't want that to happen. I want everybody to make a good grade in the class. Okay, so that's it. So you got your discussion boards. Oh, actually, I'll take a look at discussion real quick. So that was your Blackboard assignment. We looked at the quiz. We looked at the PowerPoints. And then the discussion boards. It's going to look a little bit different on your end, but this is the first discussion. You'll see that there is a prompt. So describe what you hear when you listen to the pieces presented at the beginning of PowerPoint lecture. Hoedown by Aaron Copland and Dos Gardenias by Isolino Carrillo. So this is like the ones that we just looked at just a second ago. This, I think it was this slide at the beginning. And a lot of times the discussions will be based on like listening activities. Yeah, so you can go ahead and look at these at first before you go through the PowerPoint, and then then you just reply. And then as you're replying, it's got a little word count here. So now I'm up to 4 words. Just get up to 150 words. It's not that much actually. It's usually just like a little paragraph. We'll get you up to 150, and then you should be set. Alright, so hopefully that helps. I think the last thing I want to mention is if you want to get in contact with me, you can use the messages link. That's in the MAP classes. That's kind of the primary way to get in contact. You can also email me, of course, but the primary way that they want you guys to interact with the professors is using the messages link. So I'll check this every day, so I should get back to you within 24 hours at the latest for any of these messages. Usually I check it, like twice a day during the week and maybe once a day on the weekend. Alright, so I hope that's a good introduction to the class. Let me know if you have any problems or if you have any questions about anything. I'll be more than happy to answer that. Alright, thanks.